Okay, I'd like to call the meeting of the Townsend Conservation Commission for Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026 at 7:02. You have to have a second. No. Okay. Okay.
Mike, these are the reasons why. Give it a minute. Even if you start at 7:02, 7:05, it's okay.
Okay, that means 7:03 Sandra Lord.
Okay, well, we haven't done the roll call yet.
Oh,
so-
okay.
All right, we just call the meeting to order. I'd like to roll call, starting with Jimmy.
James DeRoyan present.
Sandra Lord present.
Brian Pickerton present. Abigail Farley present.
Mike Potts present. Okay, I'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is being video recorded. Is anyone else recording? Okay. Chairman's addition and or deletions. I would like to move 4.2.
Excuse me, do you have a physical copy of the agenda?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
I have
right
them
there.
here.
All right, good, thanks.
Sorry, just wrapping up my notes.
Item 4.2 to 3.0.
4.2 to 3.
2.0, just to get it, if the engineers are here. We don't want that to have to wait too long.
Could you repeat that, what you want to move to?
Well, we might expect some representative from Mass DOT to talk about the permit application for a culvert under Route 119.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
I see.
and so we can move that ahead a little bit. Okay, and
Okay.
Chair's report. I don't have anything. Review approved minutes. We do not have any minutes. So we can move along to the agent report.
Colby, are we just one set of minutes behind?
We're behind at this point, so.
Well, what are we behind with? 2?
Yeah, so it can be 3, go up to 3. We can generate now, just make it 4.
This will make it 4?
Yeah, so I'll have to,
We're getting close.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know that.
oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I didn't want it to be this way, but
It is what it is.
everything, more stuff, other stuff became priority.
So I don't know the rules. Is it possible for you to send to us so we can pre-read it before the meeting, or do we have to read it at the meeting?
You have to vote on it at the meeting, but
But we can get it ahead of time? Okay, sure.
By coming by the office, or you can,
yeah, to be honest, I've been doing, by the time I have minutes done, it's the day of the meeting. So
Okay,
it's one of these things.
okay,
It takes about half a day each.
yeah.
So, it kind of is valuable.
so the long and the short of it, if we get all of them caught up with the minutes, I have no problem coming a little earlier to the meeting if Colby could send us,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
I will certainly come 5 or 10 minutes early so we can get them caught up. I don't want you to get behind the 8 ball. You know what that is.
yeah, I don't want to get behind either, but.
Because you
Yeah.
turn into a pumpkin, they say.
Yeah.
okay,
Agent report, you know, we did not have any IDRFs, as a departmental
Referrals.
forms, in the last 2 weeks. And everything else is gonna be covered in the meeting.
okay,
Good enough.
okay. 2.1, Zero Cedar Road. So I need to open the hearing on this now. Okay, I'd like to open the hearing Make a motion to open the hearing for Zero Seaver Road map, parcel ID, 23-4-0, NOI DEP file number 308-0729, comma, TWB 2026-004.
I second.
Okay,
Are you done reading it in?
or should I go a little bit more?
Doesn't it?
Okay. Well, let's just, have a roll call. To, open the hearing.
I'll second it, open the minutes,
It's been seconded,
you know,
okay,
seconded.
yeah.
Yes.
Abigail got it? Okay. James Moran, yes.
Sandra,
Yes.
Abigail Farley, yes.
Mike Pot said yes. Okay. Is there anyone here who is going to speak on the matter? Are you here for Seaver Road?
I think they're coming in now, Mike.
Okay.
They knew it was a 7:15, so we're a little.
Oh, right.
Okay, so just,
We're a little bit ahead. It's on the agenda for 7:15, but we're up to Seaver Road now. Are you here for Seaver Road as well? Okay.
if you know you've got a meeting coming up at 7:15, look at the agenda, see if you could maybe pick off something briefly so that you do start it at the proper time because of people around.
Right, okay, yeah.
No problem,
got it.
no
Good
problem.
idea. Colby,
Yes.
do you think we could knock off the certificate of compliance for One Brown Road in 5 minutes? No.
I do, but you have an open hearing right now.
It-
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, I do,
In the future,
in
okay,
the future, I should have said in the future, I apologize.
that's all right,
Honestly, I just take the time to review the site plan.
Yeah.
Information.
okay. Okay, but, John Mello Jr. is planning on being here?
I was expecting Wayne.
Wayne.
Quite possibly, he will be online. Have a drive for him.
Okay.
I know that much, so.
Where's Wayne coming from, Colby? Where is he coming?
Somewhere south of Western, something.
Yeah, that's what I thought, that's what I thought.
I can't recall exactly.
Now, is everything the same from when we first saw this, when I first saw it, do you think? The Seaver Road?
Right,
Okay.
we've already seen this and we accepted it, right?
Originally, yes, originally it was voted on and had an approved OC. It was invalidated because the
Green cards?
green cards were not, said the abutters were not notified. And this is through the advice of the DEP representative, to basically scrap that whole proceeding and to reopen it and, go through the entire motions again.
Okay, start from scratch.
Well, while we're waiting, can I have a refresher on Seaver Road if I was here for the first vote?
I don't know if you were, so it'd probably be a good idea.
Yeah, can you describe?
Well, let's wait and, for 7:15, because that's part of it. It's
Okay.
supposed to be
Okay,
discussed in full again.
yeah,
Okay.
And in the future, wait for the meeting to proceed. Your questions most likely will be answered as it proceeds, meaning, as Colby said, we're going to rediscuss it. Because the green cards were not received by the abutters. So we
Oh, yeah.
have to start all new so they can participate.
Yes, I understand.
So it's,
I'm just gonna go grab
we're
the
gonna start
okay,
just like it was the first meeting.
Okay,
All your questions can be answered, ask away.
I understand. I just felt bad having them wait.
That's not a problem. You'll be brought up to speed. That's okay. Patience, that's all.
You probably guessed that I haven't done this very often. Haven't been sitting in this chair too many times.
Grateful to people who are willing to do that.
Yeah, but there were enough people around, so we followed protocol. One way or another.
I assume there are more abutters than just the four of you. I'm trying to recall.
Represent one house. We just are three of us. My house.
Okay, okay. And your last name, you look familiar.
Milligan.
Gotcha. Gotcha. You've been in town quite a while.
Yes.
So I was notified as an abutter for the planning board's segment, but I've not been notified as an abutter for the conservation. So I don't know if that was a miss or what the.
You did not,
That might have been something in the trees.
So the gentleman in the back row says that,
Nice to meet you.
gentleman in the back row says that he is an abutter that didn't get noticed or notified.
All right, yeah, if you don't mind waiting, we can cover that. Sure. Hopefully I can explain it. If you don't mind talking me your address so I can look it up.
Sure, 38, Cedar,
38.
Oh, there's Wayne.
Okay.
Hi, Wayne.
where?
Hey, folks.
Hi.
There is.
How are you?
We've opened the hearing.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
I
And
have I'm sorry, I thought we were up for 7:15, Mr. Chairman, and I've got 7:13. So I'm ready to rock and roll whenever you folks are.
Now, we've got a couple more minutes to wait.
Okay, okay.
And that's over the father's land. If you go 716, better to have them here and see. See? That's the computer readout for the others.
Yes.
For, what's it, A-Row, 38 seconds. Put the mailing address.
In the past, as the clerk, what you would receive would be these green cards he's going through. You would have a list of the names and you would have the green card. You go through the green card, take the name, check it off, check it off, check it off. Now, all of the abutters correspondence don't come through with the green card. It comes through computer now. So I don't know if he's gonna have you read the computer sheet, check it off with whom's here. We'll see how the process moves forward. If it is so bold as to bring that to her attention.
Could you sign in, please?
Yeah, absolutely, sorry.
All right, should we get started? So Wayne, we can get started, but you should know that there are, 3 new members of the commission who, didn't see your presentation first time you presented it, so, you need to go into a little bit of detail for them.
That's fine, Mr. Chairman. They didn't miss much. So,
Nor do they do site walk.
okay. So with this being a new public hearing, it would seem that we're kind of starting from scratch anyways, Mr. Chair, as I would understand. So, but I'm ready to go whenever you folks are. You let me know when you'd like me to do my thing. If you wanted to read in the public meeting, into the record, the advertisement and all that. I understand you guys are looking at the list of abutters to confirm that everybody's been notified. Is that my understanding?
Yes.
Are
Okay.
we checking on one now?
Yeah, and I don't see it. It's, 38 C Road, Mr. Ayod? Is that your
Ayod, that's
Ayod?
Yes.
Can you just double check on the,
It's on-
certified list there?
It's on the list here. Yeah,
38 Seaver.
38 Seaver.
Can you see it, Michael?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Robert?
Yes,
Okay. 38 Seaver Run. And you did not receive correspondence
we did not,
of the meeting?
we did not.
I suggest we proceed cautiously. We already have one person that has not received a green card, and the reason why we are here is because of such.
Yeah, or you continue, but.
I didn't hear that.
Maybe Wayne has an idea, but.
So technically, we're supposed to.
I don't know if, is that, it is a legal stipulation, so. You need to get everyone out to them.
How can it be on the list and it wasn't, you know?
So 15 other things to do. That's why we've done this.
Sandra,
Yes.
we're in an open meeting. Could you, if there's an emergency stated to the chairman, but the phone ringing and such,
Oh, I'm sorry. My husband has medical conditions.
I thought it kind of things, two things.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, is the question as to whether or not you can have the public hearing if one of the abutters is not present?
Correct.
So my understanding is that you can hold a public hearing. The abutters have been notified of how many abutters did you have and how many receipts for the green cards did you receive?
Correct. It looks like there was one that was missed.
Okay, so this is not uncommon that all abutters don't show up. I have projects where only 2 abutters show up after they've all been notified. So you can go ahead, and my understanding is you can go ahead and hold a public hearing if the abutter wants to review the previous meeting. And I would leave it to the commission. If the commission feels that they would want to continue, I mean, again, just based on what I hear here, you know, to proceed cautiously. You know, if the commission wanted to continue the public hearing after the abutter has had a chance to review the presentation and then weigh in at the next hearing, that's at your discretion. But if we could proceed, we could, you know, typically it's not continued, but I'll defer to you folks and however you want to do this.
I think there was a miscommunication. It wasn't attending, it was an abutter was not notified.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Because we weren't notified, my spouse would have been here, but had other arrangements, so we're not make it.
How was
So-
that?
So
Yeah.
that sometimes happens as well. And, you know, as I understand from some of the correspondence from one of the abutters in town with Colby is that, you know, the notifications had gone out. And in Townsend, it took some 5 or 7 days to be notified, and that is by certified mail. That it's not uncommon. I don't know why that happens with local mail. You know, it seems like it goes to Boston and then comes back to your local town. It's ridiculous. But in any event, with that said, if they haven't been notified, maybe that it is delayed in getting there. Something may have gotten caught up. There's any reason that it may not have arrived. But again, I will defer to the commission. However you folks are comfortable in moving forward, that's, I want you guys comfortable here.
Well, I would put in his decision as.
All right. Well, is this possible? We go ahead and give a presentation, have comments, and then continue the hearing and not vote on anything tonight?
So, again, I think there's a miscommunication, Wayne. The notice actually didn't go out. So the conservation agent said one of the abutters notices was not even mailed. It wasn't that it wasn't received.
Oh, okay.
Because my other half
Mike.
is not here, I would much rather have the formality of being notified so that they can attend to the court.
I see.
Wayne.
I see.
I
Yep.
understand where you're coming from there. The reason why we are back at this meeting is due to the fact that the abutters were not notified in the first meeting.
That's correct.
This is why we are starting this meeting over again.
Understood.
Already out of the hole, I have an individual from 38 Seaver Road that was not notified.
Okay.
So for you to say, oh, no, I'm used to it, this happens sometime, I think we can move forward. That's not right. We
So,
won't move. But until
respectfully,
wait a second, until I hear that all the abutters have been communicated to in their cards was sent out. Right at the moment, 38 did not get it. It will be to the discretion of the chairman if it moves forward. I'm a commissioner, that's all I have to say.
may I make a comment through the chair then?
Yes,
You can.
Thank you. So my comment was made with the understanding that the mailing to that particular abutter had gone out. Since then, if I understand correctly, that mailing had not gone out. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that changes everything. That changes the response to my comment to that point. And as I indicated earlier, this is however you guys want to proceed. I leave it to the chair and to this commission on how you folks want to proceed tonight. Should you wish to continue the public hearing, we open it, we continue the public hearing until that mailing goes out and that person receives. I'm totally fine with that. Totally fine with that. And in fact, where it hasn't gone out, Mr. Chairman, if that is the case, just to avoid any further controversy, I would suggest that, and I suggest this respectfully, that the public hearing be opened and continued so that this abutter can attend at the next meeting. They will have been notified, and then in that case, there is no question as to whether or not somebody has not been notified. And obviously, this is why we're here tonight, is because of what happened last time.
and we're in agreement. I think that's what we should do.
Okay.
We should just continue it. That's the opinion of the abutter who was here, who was not notified. So we will continue this hearing. So do we need to vote on that? Continue it? What do we do on that one?
Yeah.
We have to vote to continue.
Motion. Yep.
We need a motion, make a motion that we continue this hearing at 0 Seaver Road until next meeting?
Correct.
Next meeting, which will be
20 August. Colby?
August 12th. August 12th. Continued to August 12th.
So moved, Mr. Chair. Would you like me to read it all out? But you just stated what.
Right. Is that good enough, or we read all the numbers again? Nope.
Good enough.
We're good. Okay, so we have
Second on my side, so
Second.
moved from James Groin.
roll call, yeah.
James Groin, yes.
Sandra Road, yes.
Brian Pinkerton, yes. Abigail Farley, yes.
Mike Potts said yes. Well, sorry, all came out for.
And I suggest at this time, we can do a hand delivery right now. And that will be at least, take care of the notification.
Good, that was a good call, Kobe.
Yeah.
And I would like to also apologize from the commission for the inadequacy here. I know you people have things to do and it's an inconvenience, but we appreciate and apologize that it did not come together this evening. I hope you can understand that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
We'll just give this to them.
I'll bring some garlic in for everybody at the next meeting. It always smooths it over, a little bit of garlic.
So just to clarify,
Does he sign
will new
anything?
notice will go out if you put them on paper or not necessarily?
Colby just stated he is going to actually give you the notices as you leave now. So that will count as your notification. Am I right, Colby?
Correct.
So we can go through that formality. Everybody knows that that's why we announced it. It'll be the 12th. Same place, same town hall, different possible time.
Rich Cohen, who's another abutter, is not here this evening. He had sent an email saying he wasn't gonna come, so just so you know.
Can we get it?
We got the notification, I got it.
So,
Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe the meeting of the 12th, he will be able to attend. So good, bad, but maybe that's just as well.
so another second apology to the abutters and also apology to Wayne.
No problem. Totally get it. Got to do it right. We've got to do it right, folks. So I appreciate where you're coming from.
See you next
Thank-
meeting.
So thank you for everything. Look forward to hearing from you folks and seeing you folks on the 12th.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
And I will have the garlic. I'm telling you, I never miss a promise.
Looking forward to the garlic.
Can I get an overview of like what happened here to add to my
Are you for here, Seaver Road?
No.
Okay,
struggles?
pardon?
80 Main Street?
Oh, okay.
Nothing.
No, we haven't started that here.
This was the Seaver meeting session of it.
Got it.
80 Main Street should be coming up.
Right. Okay, so, this is coming up at 7:45, so we're a little bit early. So what I'd like to do is, I can't read your letter until 7:45.
Correct.
All
Does
right,
it pertain to 80 Main Street?
what's that?
You
Yeah.
did not open it to 80 Main Street yet.
Right,
You have approximately what?
15 minutes. So now we find something else.
There you go.
Let's go. Let's see what we can do.
Mr. Hahn here can do the certificate of,
Oh, compliance,
Brown Street,
one Brown Street.
beautiful. Let's get that,
Yeah,
out of the way. Not that we want you out of the way, we want to get that out of the way.
Everything works. Thank you.
can you put something up for us to see or?
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. She's slow.
What does that say? Has started screen sharing.
Yes, it's a little slow.
Yeah, it seems to be.
Uh-oh.
Do we know what's going on there?
No,
Is it possible that someone in the, command central needs to do something?
no, it's on sharing right now. It's just taking a long time to download.
And we got a couple of minutes.
It's on my screen.
That's what I meant. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's just doesn't have that giddy up.
And look at my iPad, passing around. Pictures are still in there.
What do you need? Photographs of,
Just photographs of the grassed area. I put it on a share. Yeah,
So we're basically getting ready to see
I can bring the computer
pictures
up.
of the completed, established lawn, the house is all done.
thank you for all you guys' support. I appreciate everything you guys did.
Let me bring it over to you.
Yeah, why don't you bring it over and,
If anyone really out there wants to see the pictures, I can make them available.
okay, maybe if people come around, we can all look at it together.
You sent this in an email, right, to us? I couldn't open those up.
All right, so here's the side lawn with the tanks, and grass is established and been mowed. All right. Gonna look very similar. There's a lawn.
Yeah, very nice.
It's established.
I was gonna ask, it looks nice, I was gonna ask if it was Scott's four-step.
More lawn.
Right here, Apple Meadow, there's people.
Oh,
that are-
okay.
Oh, I just thought it was bare paint. That's what we use.
But what are the most important things as commissioners are you looking for?
Any disturbances? Any leakage?
Come on.
A picture?
Some of the most important things are going to be that the lawn is established, there's no chance of erosion, the house is in completion, et cetera, et cetera. Those are some of the key things you want to look for.
Okay.
The most important aspect of it is that the lawn is established. We're not going to concern ourselves with erosion. Did you leave the silt control up?
Yeah.
That was gonna be the next picture.
Yeah.
So from there, the decision of
Well, why don't we just,
Colby will look
yeah.
at it, it'll be established, then the blessing for silt control materials can be removed. Then a little bit of seeding over where the silt control is removed, so, because it'll be dead underneath. Awesome. We're a very knowledgeable customer, we like that.
I might need to just go grab some sod and cut it in that straight.
It's always to the discretion of the homeowner. But we like your lawn from the sounds of it.
so we make a motion to
Whatever.
accept the condition. Okay.
Did you bring the holy water so we can do the blessing?
Okay, so Colby, we're gonna rely on your judgment,
Yeah, it's fully established,
Okay.
grass, so fencing, it's ready to come out.
okay. So would someone make a motion that we,
Before you do that, but as I was saying to you, what Colby just pointed out, the most important aspect, you want to see the lawn established, you want to see it in completion. Because the next step is for us to, as Colby was said, then we can go to the next step to remove silt control. And he'll go back over, seed it, sod it, whatever, you know the routine. And then everybody's, it's done. But you can still come and visit. if you want once in a while, we don't mind.
Again, I appreciate everything that's worked, so thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll make a motion that we, issue a certificate of compliance for 1 Brown Road, DEP number 308-0718.
Second,
Second, roll call.
James Doran, yes.
Sandra Ward, yes.
Brian Pinkerton, yes. Abigail Farley, yes.
Mike Costa, yes. Okay,
I do have, the certificate for
well, we need
Form
to,
APs there.
we can sign it right here.
I don't have a date on it because it has to get mailed out with the same date. So if you allow me to put the date on for tomorrow, so the mailing will have the same date on it.
But
Does that
then,
make sense?
Okay, do you know where it is right off the top of your head? You know these stacks better than I do.
Do I take this to Cambridge? Is that how that works? If you make Cambridge to have it?
Yeah, you can mail it too.
Okay, thank you.
unless you like
To
to
the
go to
registry of
Cambridge,
deeds.
I'm just saying.
I'm in Boston.
Oh, Jesus. Good for you.
All right, I got 3 copies here. For mine, I'll just send signature forms around, unless anyone wants to go through and fully read it. It's pretty short form.
We'll just keep the signatures.
This is the time to ask any questions about a COC.
The, green, what would they be called? Plates of, in the first image,
Oh, those would be called risers.
the green risers, that's what we're looking for, that's what we
Yeah,
expect to
those are the
see.
caps or covers for the septic tanks.
Easy access
Okay.
to get into the septic.
Right,
I just learned something new.
wanted to know what they were.
No, yeah, thank you for saying that, you can ask me, because I didn't know.
It's actually a nice thing to have, so you don't have to dig up your lawn. You have to have your septic system service.
Perfect.
Oh, okay.
Bingo. 2
Okay.
stainless steel screws, your cap comes off. Some people don't like to see those. They'd rather dig their lawn up 8 inches down to get to the cover.
I would prefer the cover,
So now we know.
cause that was the only thing that I saw in the image that wasn't a fully established lawn, so I wanted to know what they were.
Cover's never fully established.
Thank you.
So risers are called?
Yes, those
Yeah.
are called risers.
Okay.
Because it's rising up from the septic tank.
Yes.
Yeah, I did not know
You see them a lot more than you would think, but they're a different color, like those that are in parking lots and stuff like that. For the septic would be.
Okay, yes. And the silt
that.
guards,
Silt fence.
silt fence.
You have the silt fence, which is the nylon, then you have your silt, either straw-filled socks or straw bales. With silt control, we do not like for them to use hay because it will bring in invasive species, and when they rot out, they start to grow. That's why we prefer and we actually require, thank you, I just came up short.
I'm sweating.
And 7:40. Good, pick off one more thing, that's good, job. And we're gonna roll right into the next one right on time. And you can leave earlier. We were gonna keep you all the way up until, what time? 9?
Fair enough. Like, I appreciate everything from the commission. Thank you very much. Hope there's great work with everybody. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Brad.
Have a good night.
We have, 3 minutes. Can you do, education and conferences? In 3 minutes?
I don't have any.
Okay, we can knock that one off.
Well, we could quickly talk about education and conferences, could I take it quick for a second?
Sure.
My new
We're on
commission,
5.0.
where are we with our MACC webinars and where are we with receiving our MACC handbooks? And that'll come from Colby in a second, because we did appropriate the money and the books are on the way, correct?
Correct.
So the 3 of you will have your MACC handbooks coming. Has any of you indulged in your webinars or signing up and going to the MACC classes?
Not yet. I need to talk to you about getting me actually there. What,
Edie, I would suggest you attend the MACC class.
okay,
You're gonna meet a lot of new commissioners and to go there is a much better education for you than, because you're gonna listen to these instructors and they're very good. You get more out of it than sitting in front of this.
That's for sure. Yeah, it's gonna, yeah. Well worth it. You get, I don't know when the next conference is, where you get choices, you pick and choose what you're most interested, what you need to be most educated about, so.
is there something I should specifically be looking to?
You have 8 different classes that you can pick and choose from. You could do plant life, you could do solar horizons, you could do invasive species, you could do vernal pools. I mean, it's endless.
And I think they usually have a sort of a 101 for new people, so they, go over the basics.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's
But I strongly suggest, and to go to the college in Worcester I enjoy going there. They have a nice lunch. The school is really, you gotta think about the important things. The lunch is good anyway, and it's worth it. There's some phenomenal instructors. And after you get done with the MACC and you're still involved, you're really into it, there's a multitude of other places we can send you. Garden in the Woods in Framingham. Walden Woods does some outstanding programs in more finite conservation education. They've got some really good stuff. Stabilization, bank restoration, replanting bank areas and flooded it. It's endless. It's just endless. So they can even teach you how to do all your plant life in Latin. I suggest you don't.
As far as education, I just want to remind everybody for July 29th, the DEP training.
Yeah.
5:30.
Yeah.
We all were told that last week, right?
Next week.
Next week, yeah. That
5:30.
And the people from the DEP are phenomenal, very sharp. They can answer whatever you throw at them.
Okay, it is now 7:45, so we can, so I guess I'd begin by opening the hearing. Do we have, Colby, do we have all the materials for the amended? But you have, everything that has been received that needs to be received?
Well, because it's not a hearing, right? It's just you're deciding if it warrants being an amendment to the OOC. It's not a hearing.
Okay.
There's no legal notice that went out or needs to. You have 80 Main Street?
80 Main Street. Amendment to order.
Okay. So you want all the amendment information?
Well, I just want to know, okay. If we don't need,
Yes, we have.
it's not a new NOI, so we don't need that. Okay.
So here you go. It's the site plan for the amendment and the amendment request.
Okay. Before we read the amendment request, I would like to read into the record a letter that Colby sent to the Townsend Historical Society after he noticed significant creep outside the scope of the original plan.
Significant what?
Creep outside of the scope. That's terminology that's in our own bylaws.
I'm not familiar with the particular verbiage of creep. I've always
We
viewed
have
it as something else. Please.
Okay.
Go forward.
A great deal of work has been done outside the scope of the original OOC.
I'm listening.
Enough so that when Colby saw it, he, I believe rightfully so, sent a letter to the Townsend Historical Society. The document entitled Amended OOC Plan has been received by the Conservation Commission. This request to amend the order of conditions, DEP number 308-0705 by the Townsend Historical Society will be considered by the Conservation Commission at its meeting on July 22nd, 2026. Wetlands Program Policy 85-4 establishes the process for amending the final order of conditions. Under this policy, the issuing authority must first determine whether the requested changes are substantial enough to require the filing of a new notice of intent, or whether they are relatively minor and may be considered as an amendment to the existing final order of conditions. This preliminary determination does not require legal notice or notification of abutters. If the commission determines that additional permitting or an amendment to the current order of conditions is appropriate, legal notice will be issued and public hearing will be scheduled. Because the request involves after the fact authorization for construction changes that have already occurred, no further work shall be performed within areas regulated under the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, including the riverfront area and the wetland buffer zone, until the matter has been reviewed by the Conservation Commission and any required approvals have been obtained. Thank you, Colby Streeter, Conservation Agent. Townsend, Mass. Since this is not an enforcement order, it is not to be ratified by the commission, but I do want to put it on record. So, and we hope that no further work is done on the site until we have considered whether or not we want to accept this as an amendment to the OOC. So,
Or in other words, move forward with a new NOI, correct?
could be.
That is the second choice.
That's the second choice.
Correct. Can I
Either,
ask the commission as a quick question without interrupting?
sure.
Did any one of you three know what creep meant?
I had an idea.
I understood.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
When you use a terminology, verify they know it.
Okay.
Verify they understand it, because this person didn't even understand what. You should be able to make sure they understand why we are here because of that.
Noted. Good.
Thank you, Mr.
But
Chairman.
it is a term that I got in from our bylaws. So,
That doesn't mean everybody knows what it means.
that's true. Yeah, got it. Okay, amending the final order, this is from Wetland Protection Act, Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act. It is sort of stated in the letter that Colby had sent, but I want you to just hear this yourself. Amending a final order of conditions is at the discretion of the body that issued the final order of conditions, i.e., AKA the issuing authority. There is no provision in the wetland regulations that requires the issuing authority to consider or act upon a request to amend the final order of conditions. There is no right to request a superseding order of conditions, hearing, if a request to amend is not granted. If the issuing authority refuses to amend the final order of conditions, the only opportunity for further review is the filing of a new notice of intent. So we need to look at the original OOC. We need to look at the amended plans to see if we think that the changes are significant. If they are significant, then, the alternative would be for the historical commission to file a new NOI.
Is it online, we have Seth Don here. He's the Delson lawyer representative.
Okay. Hi, Seth.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the commission. I wanted to let you read in the notice and the letters that have been received before I barged in on you. So I am here tonight on behalf of Frank Partland, who is also from my office. He's on vacation this week, and he had previously been discussing this with members of the town. And I'm here tonight specifically to answer the commission's questions. And if the commission would like, I do have on my screen the issued order of conditions, the previously approved plan, and our current amendment. And I can give you a high-level walkthrough of what was submitted and why we're here tonight. But I don't want to step on your toes or go out of procedural process here, so I'll wait for you to instruct me to do so.
Oh, no, I think that's why we're here. We'd like to see the original plan for people who might not be as acquainted with it, and then see the amended plan.
Seth, can you give me the date on the plans?
So the order of conditions, as you read it, and that's DEP file number 308-0705. And your commission has a date of issuance of that of February 1st, 2024. And that's specifically referring to a sewage disposal system design plan prepared by my office, and that's dated January 11th, 2024. And you do have a additional plan or document title that references to the notice of intent application that was submitted at that time.
You also have them in the file. The site plan. You want me to get them out for you?
Okay.
So I would be happy to put that original plan up if we just want to familiarize ourselves what was approved and what was going to happen there. Is that a reasonable starting point for us?
Yeah. Yep.
So I saw the share screen had a little bit of a lag with it, so hopefully I do not suffer from the same thing. No, we saw it on my end. Do you have it?
Yes.
No, we're good. Thanks, Seth.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so 80 Main Street, Townsend Historical Societies, or the church, is right here. Main Street is Plan Top or North. And this is the approved plan with orange lines representing the buffer zone. So 100-foot buffer zone. And then we have the 50 and locally regulated 35-foot. The previously issued order of conditions primarily encompassed placing a septic system or subsurface sewage disposal system, and that had to be in the buffer zone at that time. So that was approved, and that had some fill associated with it. Those are the solid lines. There was compensatory flood storage calculations that went along with this due to some of the resource areas on the site, or particularly bordering land subject to flooding. So this is the approved plan that's before you. Is it okay to switch to our amended order of conditions plan?
Yes.
Great.
Any questions from the commissioners as to what they were looking at? At the moment.
And I'd be happy to flash back to those at any point in this conversation this evening. So this is the amended order of conditions plan. So again, the church or the historical society is right here. And the primary purpose of the amendment request is that an agreement was reached to utilize a separate septic system or subsurface sewage disposal system area, which allowed the applicant to completely relocate that outside of the buffer zone and outside of the commission's jurisdiction. So obviously a significant environmental benefit to remove a leach field from that area.
So does everybody understand where the leach field went?
Yes.
So these symbols were actually the test holes that were witnessed by the Board of Health for the purpose of siting the leach field. So that leach field was in this very specific area on the property there. There are some tanks associated with the building, and those are now going through and across Main Street to a remote leach field now. So that's really not part of our amendment, other than that we're removing that.
But the commissioners, I would like for them to know that in the big picture of this, the individual went proactive and he shot the line underneath 119 and brought the leach system to the other side, correct, Seth?
Yes, sir, that's correct. So from that standpoint, that's a significant improvement. While they could have put a leach field in that area, it's presently not there, and it will not be there, should we be able to move forward with everything.
And I understand an individual town donated a parcel of his property to accommodate that, Seth?
So there's part of, if we can use the word creep, I know that was something that we were working through. There's certainly been a lot of generous gestures. So both the Historical Society and Squannacook Greenway, so the rail trail, or the being established rail trail, is south of us. I'm sure you've seen that all the time. These are both nonprofit entities. They've been going through a lot of work over the years to reach their intended goals. And in this case, the removal of the leach field allowed for them to combine or have an agreement on each other's properties, which allowed for an appropriate parking area that was presently lacking. And so that's incorporated in the amendment plan. So previously there was a gravel parking lot behind the church area. In this area, it was essentially a lawn, and that was utilized as overflow parking. And now that is intended to provide established and sufficient amount of parking that can be utilized by both the rail trail and the church facility at this time. As I talk through this, can I just ask through the commission if there's anybody representing the Historical Society or Squannacook Greenways in the audience, as I don't have visibility on who's here?
Yes, Karen Raposa, Vice President of the Historical Society.
And I'm Bill Rideout. I am treasurer of both, but for this particular meeting, Karen has taken on Historical Society, and I am representing Squannacook Greenways, the nonprofit building has built this Squannacook River Rail Trail. It's hoping to extend it into West Townsend.
Should I make a disclosure that I'm on the society and the HDC? I don't feel as though I'm in conflict, am I? No.
I'm Jock Snaith. I'm a director in the society.
Well, can I ask why the parking lot has been moved roughly 12 feet closer to the rail trail than is indicated on that plan?
On the site right now?
Yeah.
Is that your question? So I would have to measure that. So I do not have that answer for you tonight. So really what I'm here for you is we had submitted, we being my office, had submitted a letter to the commission that requested the amendment of the previously issued order of conditions. And it had some bullet point items, some of which I've already spoken about, that justified, in our opinion, the reasons that this could be amended. And I understand that Mr. Streeter, your agent, has certainly issued his opinion in his July 15th letter. The Historical Society would like to move through this process as fast as possible. And I think that's a mutually beneficial proposal, in that construction does require some disturbance to areas, and reaching a permanent stabilization and utilization of areas is certainly beneficial in this scenario. So I don't have a direct answer for your question tonight, but I can certainly talk to my office, and we can take those measurements and compare that to what is ultimately proposed and what is happening at this point.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Oh, I wanted to point out too, and the reason I asked if there were members of the Historical Society or Greenways with us is the history on this project, this property. Well, certainly the history on the property is longer than any of us have been on this planet. It's that's why it's historical. But the attempts to establish the rail trail. I've been involved with that in the background through my office for many years. The folks that are on this call have in-depth knowledge of everything that's gone on that will certainly supersede what I know about it. And I wanted to let you know that they're here. I may speak out of turn on some of these high-level items, and I would like them to interrupt me and let the commission know anything that they feel is pertinent to this discussion tonight as we go through this.
Okay, well, when you do go to the site and take the measurements, well, let me ask this. Using the scale that's on the plans, roughly what's the distance between the edge of the parking lot as proposed and the rail trail itself?
I'm actually going to give a rough measurement on my screen off to the side here. I would guess in the ballpark around 15, 16 feet.
Okay, well, when you take your measurements, you're going to discover that it's actually about 2.5 or 3 feet. So the whole parking lot has been shifted around, I'm guessing around 12 feet towards the water. And in fact, that brings it into the vegetative buffer, which I think is a little problematic. And the other problem or concern that I have is that the small berm that was there, on which the 2 tree stumps were located, has been totally removed. The tree stumps have been removed, and I think that they weren't supposed to be removed at this point. Yeah, I'm concerned that the whole thing has been shifted. I don't know if it was a mistake or what, but it certainly doesn't represent what's on the plan, in my opinion. So you need to check that out. And the other thing is that I wonder about is, you know, okay, so the work was went ahead and proceeded, but I don't know, putting in the large concrete supports for the lighting, one of which is really just a few feet from the rail trail. So if we were to accept this as presented, I would think there would need to be quite a bit of restoration work, removing some of the concrete supports and restoring the berm. So I don't know, those are things that I wonder about.
So we can talk with the applicant after this meeting. I'd like to pool the comments and figure out procedurally how the commission would like us to proceed and make sure that's agreeable to all the parties involved. And I would expect that the end product is to have a substantial restoration area. And that's one of the changes that has evolved over the years as this project has evolved. You'll see on the plan before you, there's specific call outs for ecological restoration and stewardship areas. On the approved plan, those were essentially absent. So the bank of the pond and some small pollinator areas adjacent to help collect stormwater runoff. The stormwater runoff portion remains intact from the original plan, but that's essentially been enhanced by additional plantings. And I don't think the applicant would be opposed to having mitigation plantings between what ends up being the parking area and the rail trail itself. Typically, that would be something that would be desired to separate the two areas.
Right. Yes.
What I'd like to submit for you to review is the building department review that was from January 17th, 2024, showing that there is gravel very much closer to the rail trail than depicted here. So going by this plan that was approved, is what we were moving toward.
Well, where do we go from here? We've got something that you're applying for an amendment which doesn't reflect what's already there. You have this that's approved. So if that is ultimately approved, then I don't see how we can accept this amended.
But it depends on the baseline that what you're amending it to. So I don't know the whole history here, if there were multiple different plans approved from different boards that didn't correlate, but this is what we were.
Maybe you can explain, and this is a little thought bubble that I have. Why did you proceed? Why did, the work proceed before the amendment was okay? I don't understand how that can happen.
And Mike, there was a letter, I believe, January 2026, that Colby sent out. Am I correct with the date about cease and like was like a no more work, don't do any stump and grinding or whatever. And those two stumps in question.
Yeah.
Yes, I did send out a letter in that time frame. I don't have the exact date.
It was January something in 2026.
January 15th, 2026.
So it shouldn't really have proceeded that far.
Right.
So Sandra, you're concerned about the stumps being from the two trees that were cut, the two stumps being removed. Is that what you're concerned?
All I know is that Colby sent out that letter. I'm going by that letter. I'm going by, now you see it, now you don't. The stumps are there, the stumps aren't there. And there's a process for everything, and I just feel like the process hasn't been followed.
Right. But can you see the bind we're in? Because you already have gone by that plan. How can we possibly agree to the amended plan unless you're willing to move it back to where it was on the plan? And
Yes, to understand our quandary, I don't know what you're basing your assessment on versus have you looked at what was presented here to know what the letter was that was generated?
which letter are you referring to?
The most recent letter that was initially.
From Colby?
Yes.
Which was the 15th.
The one I just discussed was from January 15th. The one that you read at the beginning.
Yeah.
Do you want the date of that?
So as I see it, either we go with this plan, which negates the amended plan because it doesn't conform with it, or we go with the amended plan, in which case you would need to do a great deal of restoration. I don't see how the two can be together. How can we possibly accept this amendment if your intention is to keep that location where it is? That plan doesn't show that location.
The location here shows the gravel driveway much closer to the rail trail.
Okay, can I see that?
So does the Conservation Commission have a copy of that at all from, can we make a copy and enter it into,
Make a copy?
well, enter it into the
what?
records, our records.
Where
Make a
is,
copy right up there if you like.
I'd have to see sort of an overlay or something, but where are the trees? Gravel.
Who came up with the number of 12 feet in deviation?
I measured it roughly. It's at least 10.
Who came up? Was it you?
Yes.
That roughly? You said 10, now we're at 12. I want the exact number.
Well, the Mr. Whatever his name is, Donahue.
It would be
Is
Seth
going to
Donahue.
take some measurements and we'll get the real figures.
And you know,
So if I may, I guess the primary question here is procedurally, what would the commission be okay with us process that we go through? And I'd like to propose, and I'm certainly open to feedback and listening to the commission here, but certainly an amendment for removing a leach field from a buffer zone. I think we can all agree that's an agreeable outcome in this scenario. Without a doubt, they need to utilize the property, and it is a constrained property in terms of environmental constraints. I would like the opportunity to have my office work with the Historical Society to figure out the final determination of that parking. I understand that it's under construction. Things can look different under construction, and they may not represent what's finally there. And incorporate restoration, appropriate restoration along the limits of the work area. Hopefully with the goal of making this environmentally better than what started. I mean, there are some invasive species, as there are along most rail trails in this state, and there'd be an opportunity to enhance that buffer zone in that scenario. And due to the fact, and I'm not crying or crocodile tears here, that the Historical Society is a nonprofit, I do believe that the amendment process is significantly less costly for them, and frankly, a faster process to move forward through for the commission here too. So if the commission deemed that we had to file a new notice of intent in this scenario, that's a new abutters list, new abutter notification, waiting for the meeting, and then we go through that whole process. And then even after the order of conditions is issued or voted on, the commission knows there's a lag there as well. So something that can be addressed quickly through the amendment process here is going to take likely several months through a new notice of intent here. And frankly, the end product is the exact same. We're not removing the commission's powers, and we're not being disrespectful to your opinions by requesting an amendment here. We're just looking for an option to cleanly move forward with the existing DEP file number that we have, and then be sensitive to the comments that we receive through this process.
Yes.
Can I comment? I mean, I'm representing Squanicook Greenways here. This is occurring on us. We are, our belief is that we should move forward with the amended process. We were just showing you this to explain what steps we took in the past. This is not saying that's what we want to do. We want to go and have the order of conditions be amended. In particular, some of the things in the diagram that Seth showed are a little out of date, because Frank and I and Shlavia, who's from the inland, who's doing a lot of restoration, have suggested in that area where the parking lot ends but before the rail trail begins, that we consider adding another catch basin with a pollinator garden in there. So that is kind of thing we're actually looking for. And we would actually like trees in there too, planted. So we are not looking to do that. We are looking to have an amended order of conditions, and we want to negotiate that out with you in a fair way that satisfies everyone. And that's Squanicook Greenway's position.
Okay. Well, I'll open it up to the discussion. I'll just say this final thing for now. If you had proposed the amendment, I agree. Yep, it's better to have a leach field across the street. It's better to have, whatever it is, and have the parking lot, okay? But the fact that work proceeded when it wasn't supposed to makes me wonder, okay, if we were to to accept this amendment, what is the assurance? And you move, and because it's on the site plan, the, parking lot would be moved back where it's supposed to be according to the plan, where's the assurance that you're going to do the restoration and these other things, the berm or whatever, to put it back where, the way it was? When you didn't follow the rules before, how can we?
Respectfully, there would be a new plan that would be agreed upon as we work through this process with the commission. And I mean, that's really the entire intent of the order of conditions. Now, I fully acknowledge that sometimes things happen during construction. I'm not a person that's on site, but I have been by many sites, and sometimes things change. But the intent of the order of conditions, and you guys before this meeting tonight looked at a certificate of compliance, and that is the end result here. I mean, this is going to have to come back to you for a certificate of compliance. And if they're not complying, by all means, that there's going to need to be some adjustments. Just because we submit a certificate of compliance doesn't mean you have to say yes to it. It looks like you're doing a very thorough review of those, and we would expect the same thing on the back end. In my office, when we do those, we will, if we see something that's wrong, we will tell the contractor that this is not appropriate to submit a certificate of compliance yet. You need to do X, Y, Z.
Okay, got it. I just want to get comments from any of the other commissioners.
Well, I do have a couple of comments. I think the leach field thing, going across the street is a great thing. And a lot of good things are happening. I appreciate that. By the same token, Mike, what you said kind of resonates with me. Kobe sent out a letter, all of a sudden 22 trees were down. I don't care if they were diseased or not.
Okay, we're gonna leave the trees out of it.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
I have.
Can I finish speaking, please? Thank
You
you.
need to make sure that you're focused on what you're making comments of.
okay.
Those trees are not in the purview. Why did you bring them up?
Okay, let me finish. Well, the two trees that were stumped and they weren't supposed to.
You're
were in that
referring to
letter.
2 stumps being removed. Say
You
2 stumps being removed.
Okay, all right.
Excuse me.
Is that what you're
Can
saying?
Can I
2
finish
stumps being
speaking?
removed.
Let's have her finish.
Thank you, I appreciate that. So, yeah, those were removed. And then I read something recently, I don't know, was something in the whole stuff that Colby said, something about blanding turtles. Was there an issue of blanding turtles
No,
somewhere?
that's not related to this.
Okay, for some reason I thought, but anyways,
It is in priority habitat.
What's that?
It's priority habitat with the parking lot is.
Okay,
that's
I
my,
missed that one, sorry.
and then like all of a sudden, like you said, all of a sudden when work was done in the parking lot, I could go for that site walk. And I did go with Colby and Abigail was there and Brian. And all of a sudden there was more work done in the parking lot. So yeah, I'm like,
Okay. Good, thank you. Anything?
I just, my own 2 cents to this thing is that, as far as, contaminants in the leach field being there and it being removed and put into a different area that's safer for Mother Nature, then that suits me. And, things do happen on construction sites, whether they're wrong or right, things do happen. And if we're not looking at the finished outcome of something, we can't judge a project that's not completed. That's my 2 cents anyway. If they want to move forward so that we can get something in writing for compliance and then hold them to it after that, then so be it. But as of right now, my main concern was getting that leach field out of there, and that's been accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to say.
Okay.
I mostly agree with what everyone else has been saying about the removal of the leach field to the other side of the street. I am fully happy with that work. The thing I'm a little confused about, so I gotta ask the question, is when it comes to that map and the map we are being shown up there, it seemed like they were two different, with 2 different maps of the same site, 2 different approved plans
Well,
or?
this was
I don't
approved,
know what you looked at, Abby. I wasn't,
who approved this plan?
I would have to look into that, but that's from the building department.
The first one you looked at?
The one that was displayed up there, the 2026 plan that we've been talking about that I'm familiar with, and then that one which talked about the distance in the parking lot. I'm confused. Was that does it sound like it's two separate ones saying where the parking lot is?
Yeah. That's it. So the building department somehow submitted this plan. And I don't know what the protocol is for that, whether they, I would think they would need the approval of some other departments or commissions, but I don't know exactly. Well, this is what I'm wondering.
did I see that, Mike?
If we could continue the discussion, not make a decision right now. You, Phyllis and Roy, get together with the Historical Commission and Squanicook Greenway or whatever, and,
The Historical Society,
pardon?
the Historical
This is
Society.
Historical Society, I'm sorry, thank you. And I'm quite sure that you're gonna discover that this plan was used and not the plan that you want amended in putting in the parking lot. So you're gonna have to reconcile it somehow, I think, for us to approve it.
Yeah, I'm just a little concerned about the consistency in what we're seeing.
Does that sound reasonable?
So that's reasonable to me. I just want to make clear that if the commission were to be leaning towards us submitting a new notice of intent, we want to make sure that we have the opportunity to start that as early as possible, as that is a timely process. It sounds, and I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but it sounds like there is a path forward through the amendment process, which would certainly allow for the exact same plan to be submitted and have these discussions submitted at or continued at consecutive meetings instead of having a lag in this. So I am fine with that. I'd have to. Oh, go ahead.
I don't want the Historical Society to spend any more money than they have to. They should spend money on education and facilities and get that whole thing up and running. So I don't want them to spend money on a new NOI. And I'm hoping that somehow we can figure out the sort of reconcile the plan with the concerns that some of us have with the parking lot. Yes.
Yeah, so just, we got we went through the whole process, building the rail trail, the notice of intent, getting it, and we went through the whole process of getting a certificate of compliance, sending it off to the registry of, so, I mean, I am very much focused on, I understand that ultimately we need an agreed plan that you guys agree on that ultimately gets a certificate of compliance.
Right.
There's no way to do that if we don't do what's in the final plan that's agreed to. So that is what Squanicook Greenways represents, and I believe that the Townsend Historical
That
Society,
is our intent.
it would be our intent to get a certificate of compliance.
Yeah.
So,
Colby, what's your viewpoint here?
Excuse me, I wanted to ask the chair a question,
Oh,
please.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. I'm here to speak.
Well, all three of you got a chance to speak.
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
thought,
Oh, I'm
I thought
sorry.
if we were,
Okay.
but if you want to talk to
No,
Colby,
no,
go
No,
ahead.
no, go ahead. I'm
No,
sorry.
no,
I'm
you're not a
sorry.
gentleman. Go ahead, Sandra.
No, I insist.
No,
I'm sorry. I
she
didn't mean to cut you off.
She yields to you. So go
Yes, I
ahead.
do.
Anyway. I'm close to asking, for a motion for us to move forward with the amended order of conditions so we can get this project moving forward. I feel as though we can address parking lot, the locate, all these other things moving forward with the amended. For us to go through another NOI, I don't think that's in anyone's favor. I think we can resolve, work forward with Seth, everybody, and obtain
I
a
agree.
very, very good
I agree.
ending.
I'm just,
But if we sit here, keep spinning our wheels, coming up with, oh, these two stumps removed, they shouldn't have been. I agree with that.
It's the fact,
We are
that-
seeing a lot of deviation,
okay,
correct?
when the Squanicook Greenway asked for an amendment to the, OOC for putting in the canoe ramp.
Yeah.
They did it before they put in the canoe ramp. This is all after the fact,
I understand.
okay? And I would feel very uncomfortable.
Where are we missing in the monitoring of this?
Well, we monitored and discovered that things were being done that shouldn't have been done until they were okay. So you can make a motion if you wish.
Sandra?
Okay, thank you. So Colby, I was wondering what your viewpoint is in all this as our agent.
Okay, I've been working on this for weeks, and I'll start with the, how the OOC is, the current OOC is out of compliance. There are conditions in there that are not being met in the permit. Those being, as well as the attachment A, there are conditions there that are not being abided by. Mainly, there's been unauthorized work that has been already completed without any change to the plan or informing information provided to the Conservation Commission. It is your purview to assess if regulations under the Wetlands Protection Act are being met by this job site. And if there are activities there that you have not assessed. They're already, the work has already been done, right? The next thing is, if you want to consider amending the OOC, you have to think about whether or not there are significant changes in that. The amendment process, the OOC is for minor changes. And it's in my opinion that the gravel parking lot is not a minor change. And the significance of it is increased by moving it towards the pond there. Not only does it bring it within the 35-foot no disturb zone, but it's also in 50-foot no build zone, as well as 200-foot riverfront area. And that is considered a riverfront. We have that written into our bylaw.
Can I ask, Seth?
There are many activities here that amount to it not being minor changes. Those being, first starting with the removal of 2 mature trees, stumps, the regrading of that area of the area where those trees were, the excavation of the soil profile, filling with gravel, and then there's the light post foundations installation. Now going forward, it's my advice not to do it with an amended OOC. That leaves you really 2 options. One, you mentioned an NOI. You can try and do it with an NOI, or you can work. The other option is an enforcement order. If you were to do the NOI avenue, and you are looking to reclaim the area that was, made into a parking lot, that's a tougher, that's a tougher road to go if you want that done, because there's an appeal process that can slow that down dramatically. I think, and, you know, I would suggest the enforcement order route. I know everyone has their misgivings or dislikes for an enforcement order. But if you can address a rehabilitation, a rehabilitation plan, that's not restoration plan, thank you. Much more quickly and cleanly with enforcement. You know, and you have to, with that NOI, if you were to apply for an NOI, you would have to consider if those activities that have already taken place can meet the good performance standards within the Wetlands Protection Act, spelled out in 310 CMR 10.58. They're all written there. You have to review them all. If they could not be met, those performance standards could not be met within the NOI, you would have to deny it, not approve it. Which is why I suggested enforcement order. I think that would actually hasten the process. So I think that is the quickest and easiest way to do this. Sense. I will suggest too, I've been in discussion with the DEP, and if they are very reluctant to accept an amended OC.
So to state the obvious, it sounds like the amended OOC is not the way to go then if the DEP is reluctant. I mean, so the enforcement order, can you describe that a little bit?
Yeah, I'm looking at it as well. And I'm getting this all out of the Wetlands Enforcement Manual,
okay,
which I made available.
Well, can I ask this? Okay. Seth, if you could meet with the two organizations and come up with a plan that addresses our concerns that the parking lot has been moved in a location that's not on the plan, and you could come up with the plans for the restoration plan, which would be similar to the plans that would be on the enforcement order. Do you think you could do that in a few weeks and have it ready for the next meeting?
Yeah, absolutely. So I respect everybody's opinion. I've worked through the enforcement order process frequently, a couple times a year. I don't personally receive them. We're hired to address them. My 2 cents on this is you could issue an enforcement order and it's going to take time to issue that. And it's going to say that we either have to come with the very plan that we're discussing right now and offering to prepare for the commission at some date uncertain, or we have to submit a new NOI. So, well, certainly I feel that the commission has certain protections in issuing an enforcement order and an ability to have additional follow-up. What we're asking for is not bypassing that very process. It's essentially accelerating it. Tonight, you have multiple representatives of the applicant and the parties involved here. I haven't heard one of them object to say that they don't intend to do what the commission asks here. So your request is completely reasonable, Mr. Chair. We would be happy to meet with them and put together a plan that demonstrates not only the compliance with 310 CMR 10 Wetlands Protection Act and the appropriate provisions there, but also the restoration and an intended final project that's being asked of us.
Okay, so considering all of the concerns that the agent has expressed, I'll level with you. If the amendment had been submitted and we acted upon it appropriately, I think it was a good plan. But you know my concerns. So if you can do what you just described, I don't know if we need to make a motion to continue this discussion or just say that we're going to continue it. And depending on what you present to us in a few weeks, or Frank presents to us in a few weeks at the next meeting, if it seems as if it's going to address our concerns, then I do want to avoid the NOI.
All right, I find that agreeable. If any of the applicants on the call don't agree with that, please let us know. But I see this as an olive branch, and thank you.
Any comments?
Swinecourt Greenways agrees.
We'll agree with as a historical society. We're trying to be compliant. We're trying to move forward on our project here for the good of the community. I would just ask that your side, your agents also follow process and procedure that they're supposed to.
I've absolutely been following the process.
Can you tell me where you think he hasn't followed the process?
I've heard there's been issues that instead of going through the greenways, you've taken initiative to go to outside resources to reach outside.
Not
beyond
outside
that.
resources.
And I've also,
Okay, this is not what we're discussing right now. This
you
is
asked me a
irrelevant.
question, so
Okay. Okay, but relevant to this situation, in your opinion, has Colby done something that he shouldn't have done?
no, I'm just saying in general, moving forward,
Okay,
I would like it to be respectful that your members also follow the process.
we're gonna try. We'll do the best we can.
I'm sorry, but I'm trying to figure out how any of us have not followed the process.
Okay,
We
so,
want to stay, no, I'm sorry. We want to stay within the realm of compliance. You're absolutely right. We don't want to do enforcement. I abhor it. I think everyone
Ultimately,
here.
we are not a
We're
board
not-
of enforcement. We're a board of compliance.
Sorry.
We're not really a board of enforcement. We're a board of
you
compliance.
see, the real problem,
You really are both things. If you want to keep people in the compliance.
It's a balance.
by Following the conditions of the permits that are,
we agreed to. The real problem came when work continued as if we were gonna automatically accept the amended conditions. And that wasn't right. I don't know how, for the life of me, I can't figure out why you did it backwards. It would have been so easy to do it the right way. And I don't think there would have been a problem. That's my opinion anyway. So where do we go with this? Do we need to make a motion that we can, continue the discussion? Or we just say that we're,
I'm not saying, I'm a little frustrated with this whole process at this point in time. I wanted to say something. I got enough.
nope, we wanted you to
Move
say.
forward. You're the chair, move forward. But I'm in disagreement. We can come to an understanding and we can move forward with this. And what I'm seeing is a great deal of unnecessary counter resistance when there are solutions available to us. And now we're wasting more time. And it's valuable time. And it's very frustrating to see what's going on. I agree with what you're saying as to where you feel it shouldn't have been done. So I'm gonna be cautious as to any more comments from myself.
Okay. So I think we just, continue this till, the next meeting on the 12th. And,
So we will not entertain a motion to.
if you wanna make the
No, I'll move
motion.
forward with what,
No, you make the
Chairman.
motion if you wish.
no, let's stick to what we're doing here.
Do we have to sign off on this when it is done?
Yes.
Okay, so then things aren't done the way they're supposed to be, then we don't sign off, right?
Correct.
Okay, so why can't we just make sure those things are fixed and move forward with this? Because if they can't close the book on it unless we sign off, that's our guarantee that things will be done correctly, correct?
One would hope that eventually they would, want us to issue a certificate of compliance, yes?
But isn't that how we can guarantee that it will be fixed? Yeah?
Well, possibly, if fixed means move it back. See, that's, as long as the plan.
No, I'm saying moving forward.
Yeah.
If we move forward, do an amendment on this stuff, isn't the fact that we have to sign off on this our power to make sure that moving forward, it gets done properly, or things that need to be fixed get fixed? They made the suggestions of things that they wanted to do. Isn't that our guarantee, our power to sign off on this to make sure that those things get done? Because I know you've expressed a concern that who's to say if we move forward on this thing that those things will be done. So my question to you as chair is, if we move forward on this, isn't our power to sign off on this our guarantee to make sure that the things
That's a valid point. But and my concern is that things were done that shouldn't have been done. And I guess I just needed reassurance that the consultation would come up with a plan to assure me that, the restoration was going to be done the way we think it should be done. If we were to give them the, okay now, and they would say, sure, we're gonna restore it. Well, what if it's not restored exactly the way we would want it restored, or without any input?
Well, isn't that, well, that's why I just asked you.
But we need, I think we need to agree to what the plan is before we say we agree with the amendment, but we don't know exactly what the restoration plan is yet. I think we need the restoration plan.
So, I mean, I think what you're proposing is reasonable. Let's come up with a plan that you think would be acceptable to you, and then say, okay, you can amend your order of conditions, and this is the plan we can accept. And, then we go ahead and make sure we get to the point where we have a certificate of compliance. I mean, that is ultimately what we all want to do. That's the cheapest way to do it. Squanico Greenways has a history, and a lot of this is happening on Squanico Greenways land of doing that. I think that this is a good plan that you're suggesting, and we go ahead.
Okay.
So can I outline the process a little bit, please?
Yeah.
We talk about it already. Great. So first you decide if you're gonna hear, if you're gonna honor their request to amend the OOC, you're gonna hear about their amendment. If not, if you don't, agree with that, if it's into the amended OOC, then you can either work under new NOI or the enforcement order. But kicking the ball down the road, kicking the can down the road here, without voting on whether or not you want to hear the amendment based on their suggestions that they've already submitted, then that would be out of process.
This is, well, it's already way out of process because they went ahead and did it. So, I don't know if we have a framework exactly how to deal with something like this. But to me, my suggestion, it makes sense to me that we can wait 3 weeks, I think it's 3 weeks. Hear their restoration plan, and, then we can vote. Does that sound reasonable?
Kobe's making a face.
I've said my piece, I've explained it.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to explain it.
So we're actually gonna measure cause you were kind of like doing an estimate about the number of feet the parking lot moved. Like,
Well, and also, you know, that berm served the purpose. And I think just to level it off, and now drainage has changed. Trees are one thing, they were gone, the stumps were going to rot. But, there were enough changes that I think need to be,
Talking about
replaced.
berm between the parking area and the rail trail,
Yeah,
there's still a.
and 10 feet of grass or other plantings need to be restored.
I don't know the exact footage, but there is a berm there as of right now. With grass, I've seen it with my own eyes, so when I did the rock berm.
How wide is the berm?
Like I said, I don't have a measurement on it, but I'm saying it is there.
Is this the berm you're referring to directly behind the church?
No, the parking lot.
The parking lot goes down to the rail trail, and there's a couple of feet of vegetation, which maybe creates the illusion of a berm, but I don't see a berm.
In other words, you're talking right where the parking lot is, from the direction of where the post is, the concrete post, to the rail trail.
Right.
You're saying that it's basically roughly, how many feet?
2.5, 3 feet.
Huh?
Okay.
What was this?
The marker? The pillar that comes up out of the ground?
Right.
You're saying that's 2 or 3 feet from the rail trail?
Well, there were 3 of them. 2 of them are well into the other side of the parking lot. There are 3 of them. One is very close to the rail trail.
And can we establish if it's,
Take pictures if you like.
What's that?
Take pictures if you like.
there you go, that would be helpful, but another thing I would like to establish. What is it? Is it 8 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet?
Well, this is where Seth is going to take some measurements, and he'll present them in 3 weeks, if we agree that that's what we'd like to happen.
Are we going to think of assigning a commissioner to oversee any of this to make sure things are getting done right? Because it seems like
I'll do it.
there's a lack of overview, and some things have slid because they have not been getting checked and double checked on.
See, that's just a couple of feet. Where that concrete marker is about, I believe, roughly where the front edge of the parking lot on the plan, on the amended plan, is supposed to be.
So you're telling me from that over it's supposed to be,
That granite post isn't what he's referring to, you're referring to the concrete posts that were poured for light posts,
Right.
correct?
Right. I don't know why that, if that concrete was there before.
Yes, it was there before.
Yeah, it just hasn't been
It's a
removed.
railroad,
Yeah,
marker
it hasn't been removed or something. Yeah.
there.
Referred as granite, not concrete, that'll confuse him quick.
Yeah.
That's granite, right?
That's granite.
yes, that's a granite.
That's not the concrete.
Correct.
But you agree that there's concrete
But that's gonna,
near the rail trail.
that's gotta go.
What's gotta go on into here then?
Just the post that's right next to the rail trail.
In proximity
Well,
to,
from my point of view, maybe it's what Seth says, but I would guess.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so that's what you're referring to, the concrete pier that is going to take the light posts.
Right,
Correct. That's where you're saying that 2 to 3 feet from the
from the
rail
trail.
trail. Now, does that concrete light post represent the edge of the parking lot? Or is that just a light post?
I mean, the parking lot is still, you know, it's gonna be where the parking lot is set when we have a agreed on plan.
Did you just say a moment ago that that concrete has to go?
I am not, you know, obviously I
Okay,
can't speak. for-
that's very encouraging. Because that could be part of the discussion.
That is certainly something that
Yeah.
we'll be talking to staff about.
That's right.
Right.
Just to say
But
that-
my question was, is the concrete
Right.
post, does that represent the edge of the parking lot? The most important aspect of this is the parking lot, correct?
Right. it's
Not
pretty much in
necessarily the
corner.
concrete
It's
post.
pretty much in the corner.
Kobe. Huh? 519, please.
That's the concrete that you're referring.
Right,
Yeah, that's the light post. As you can see, the Schedule 80 out of it, where they're gonna have the wiring.
but
What
you
I'm
see,
saying again, does that represent, here's the concrete post, is the parking lot right up against it? Here, where is it the definitive
In-
ending of the parking lot?
relating to the discussion, that's almost irrelevant because it's well within the, vegetative buffer.
Irrelevant? Okay.
Okay. So that's what we'll do?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so it'll be on the agenda for 8/12/2026.
Next meeting is the 12th or 13th? 12th, I'm sorry, I put the 3 there. That was a bad 2. And we will revisit with Seth.
Right, or Seth and or Frank.
You know, I'd say Frank will be back for applications. Frank.
So Seth is just taking over for Frank on the interim of this, just to represent this one?
Well, I mean,
I'll speak with Frank. This is an involved discussion, so you may get both of us at the next meeting. Just so nothing's lost in communication. I don't want to not convey something to him. You guys have spent a lot of time on this tonight, and I want to make sure that we get a plan back to you that addresses what you're asking for.
Okay,
All right, let's revisit. I don't
okay,
want to circle around anything else.
all right, I think we've,
I think you have to attend to, like, everybody's until the next meeting, because this is a little bit
what do we have to do?
gray area. It's not clear, this process. So, are you allowing them to put up light posts, and are you allowing them?
No, they haven't, no. We read into the
You ready?
minutes, your letter. There should be no work done until we get this resolved.
Yeah, just,
So you have, did you
I have
actually,
written these letters before.
but have you
The
labeled it
commission
as a
should-
cease and
The
desist?
commission should be making a decision.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. Does that letter represent a cease and desist on any further work?
You can do it right now.
Okay, that's why I'm asking. If you feel the letter
It's a very
demonstrates
nice
to do not
cease
cease
and
more
desist
work,
letter.
or would you prefer we use the verbiage of no more work if it's presently under a cease and desist?
Well, I would prefer that this, I'm hoping that this is enough to stop the work so that we don't have to do an enforcement order.
Same letter again.
Yep. And if we go the enforcement order route, then we have to vote on it, and this just makes it a lot simpler.
That's why I'm asking. So it's defined and we all are on the same page, right?
Right.
Other thing I'd like to go back to, it's very obvious we need to increase oversight on this. I'm not saying
I didn't hear you, sorry.
we need to increase some oversight on this because You went out when I saw you out there when they were doing horizontal boring, correct? You were, that's when you were pulling the measurements, correct? All right, so.
Okay, but, point well taken, and
So
we'll
where do we go
increase
with,
surveillance.
so where do we go with who is gonna double check on stuff? Is why you?
Because I'm very concerned that things are done correctly.
Am I any different than that?
You can come anytime you want and check.
Well, I had made the volunteer and the question as to where we're gonna go with better oversight.
Well, I think that is a discussion, but it's not necessarily for this now.
It's a condition of the order of conditions that agents and commissioners can visit the site, to monitor the performance, or you can monitor the conditions of the OOC.
Let me see if I understand what you just said.
Yeah, it was a little bit.
Any commissioner would be able to go down there at any point in time? Is that what you basically?
During reasonable hours. Yes.
Okay, we've given this one into the ground. Okay, so that's where we're at. I don't think we need to take a vote on anything. We'll just continue this discussion for 3 weeks.
Thank you for your time, and we'll see you then.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Seth.
Thank you.
Do you need this back? Actually, yeah, we can.
I've got it.
And that's the one you had gotten from the BI downstairs at, and I,
Yeah, we could figure that one out.
yes.
You see where the fact that this was, the work continued just makes an awkward situation where nobody's actually. All right, moving on. Continuation of notice of intent. NOI DEP number 308-0703 TWB 2026-0060 Brookline Road. And so this just needs to be continued.
And ask if anyone's here to represent.
Oh, good idea.
I couldn't hear you, Cole.
Ask if there's anyone here to represent that property.
Is anyone here to represent the 0 Brookline Road? No.
Was
I have
there,
not received any information from them or any updates.
meaning from the engineer on the, from Dillison Roy?
Correct. Or the applicant.
Okay, so have you received or gotten any more correspondence from the individuals at the buildings down below?
Thank you for the reminder. Yes, in the folder, there is a, prejudice correspondence from the neighbors.
This one? Correspondence.
Yeah, I think I put it into.
In the file for
folder
0 Brookline?
Oh, 0.
Okay.
Shall I read this into the record?
Your discretion.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Okay,
up to you. If you
relating
feel so
to-
it is important to get
Okay.
that information to the commissioners.
Lauren Sullivan, to the Townsend Conservation Commission. Dear members of the Townsend Conservation Commission, As abutters to the property under review, we are writing to express our growing concern regarding the repeated continuances and the length of time this matter has remained unresolved. From the beginning, we understood that this matter involved work occurring in or near protected wetlands, and we have participated in the process in good faith. However, the repeated continuances have unnecessarily prolonged this matter, delaying resolution of important issues involving work in or near protected wetlands and leaving abutters without timely answers. We respectfully request that the commission move this matter forward move matter towards a timely resolution while ensuring that all applicable provisions of the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act and the Townsend Wetland bylaws are fully addressed before any final decision is made. As abutters, we recognize and appreciate the commission's responsibility to protect the town's wetland resources and to conduct a fair and transparent review. We respectfully ask that this matter not continue indefinitely and that it be brought to a timely conclusion. Thank you for your time, consideration, and service to the town of Townsend. Respectfully submitted, concerned abutters, David and Lorraine Sullivan, Dan Macklin, Scott and Wendy McGrath, Marilyn Brown, Ryan and Amy Balkin, and Rebecca Goheen, 201 Brookline Street, Townsend, Mass.
Is 201 Brookline Street, that's the condos, that's their
Right. Yes.
street, and all the people you just read off are, we assume.
At 201 Brookline Street.
Very good.
Okay.
And that was stamped in when?
July 13. They make a good point. So what do we do about it? Can we ask Phyllis and Roy to push things along?
Well, what are the issues that are making it so difficult? Start with that. Can you outline what the issues are that are making it difficult for a regular NOI to be considered? I've done good words and explain it. Yeah, so you're aware of external factors that that are causing the delay, right? Or
Are you referring to that? It's with the engineering aspect with Phyllis and Roy, or are you referring to the
we could go right back to the comments by the DEP, if you like. We use the references there. You have the NOI that explains what the project is.
Yep.
And then the DEP explains what the problem is, right?
So what we're looking at is what do we have in our arsenal to bring this to fruition quicker? Do we call Phyllis and Roy? Do we call the property owner? Ultimately, we're looking to you. What is the mechanism to get this to proceed forward so we don't see this again? Continuation.
Okay, exactly, which is why I'm trying to get you to that point. So you obviously don't like enforcement orders as a commission. So I suggest writing a letter stating that this is becoming a prolonged process. We want to see an update.
To both the homeowner, I'm sorry, Mike.
Go ahead.
To both the homeowner, the letter, send it to the homeowner and Phyllis and Roy,
The applicant.
the applicant.
And ultimately, the applicant shall be the one to prompt the engineering company or whichever, so
We're
we're
ultimately responsible.
correct.
They own the property, they applied for the permit.
Okay.
Can you, can you write the letter and be almost as succinct as you just expressed it? I mean, that was to the point.
Right.
I do my best.
Okay. Do do you want me to, help you with that process? I don't mind coming in. Do you want me to, read it before we send it, or you just,
I can write it.
okay. But the way you just expressed it, I think, gets to the point. We gotta move this forward. And send it like to the homeowner, to the owner, and to Phyllis and Roy. And respectfully request a response. Yeah. Okay.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to excuse myself.
Okay.
Have a good night, Jimmy.
Okay. We were moving, the, Mass DOT District 3 engineers up to 301. Is that, who is that? Anna? Or who else?
Are we looking at 3.2?
4.2, we're moving it to
4.2. Oh, I see.
3 point.
What's that?
We're not gonna do
4 point,
What about
Diane,
3.2?
Diana's on one.
4.2 is now moved to 3.0.
I see.
And we're hearing from Hannah or Diana. Diana, hi.
Yes. Hi, how are you? Yes, Hannah's here from BSC as well. She's participating in the permit preparation of the project, and she and my colleague Shyla are both here to just kind of keep up with the details on the project to help support everything. So also the Mass DOT district engineers couldn't be here tonight, so I'm going to do my best to answer technical questions. And unfortunately, I don't have some question, maybe some questions might come up about traffic management or, timing, and I don't know that, but I did just want to discuss so there's basically several scenarios that we could go through for permitting, and then several scenarios that they could go through for needed activities. And so it might be some mix and matching of what is allowable, kind of reflecting back to the conversation you were having about amended orders and how far those can go versus maybe administrative approval and how comfortable you are with that kind of approval, all the way through to a new notice of intent. So I'll just start by saying I'm Diana Walden from BSC Group. I don't think I said that, but I am here for the Mass DOT culvert work on Route 119. Adjacent to Edward Road, the tributary to the Squannacook River crosses under 119. And I know the commission is familiar with the deteriorating conditions out there. And it was several years ago now that we did an after the fact notice of intent for kind of some emergency repairs they needed to do on the embankment. I believe they pulled up a few pieces of stone that had fallen into the water as well. So we did get the after the fact approval for that work. And so they are still concerned with debris clogging that culvert to the point that a little bit ago it was really backing up and beginning, to create some flooding conditions or concerns upstream for residents on Edward Road. And they were able to remove some of the debris, get some clearance to start draining the water. But I think they're concerned about that happening again and being able to address it quickly. And they also know that, there's slabs of granite inside the culvert that have slipped down and might be kind of catching the debris, keeping it in place. They've tried kind of pushing and pulling the debris and also tried jetting water through, and they're not fully clearing the culvert. So their latest request is to basically stage themselves on the roadway, excavate down into the roadway surface to reach the top slab of the culvert, and basically pull that aside, try to remove the debris that way. And if the culvert is holding well, the ideal scenario would be that they'd replace the slab, clear the debris for now, replace the slab, and continue on keeping an eye on it until we can get the replacement designed and permitted, which is in progress. And we are hoping to finish up those applications this summer and then deal with the DEP for their 401 and the Army Corps for the 404. So that would be the ideal scenario is working from the roadway, lifting the top off the slab, clearing the debris that way, and being able to replace the slab and kind of leaving it as is again for a while. The second more complicated scenario would be while they're in there feeling like the culvert isn't going to hold much longer, and to see if they could fit a 36-inch HDPE pipe through the culvert to kind of stabilize it for a little bit longer. They would, if that was the case, they would probably have a flared end on the inlet side, and they would probably build up some stone on the embankment again to stabilize that area around that head wall on the inlet side. They would try to keep any of that stone stabilization from actually being in the water, but up and around the culvert. And that would be the kind of like second scenario. And then the third scenario would be they can't get that pipe into the culvert. The work that they try to do to get the debris out and fix things up seems to make the culvert even worse, to the point that it's really going to collapse. And then they could potentially take the pipe and create a new hole through the embankment and use that pipe for a diversion for the stream. And that would be what would be proposed in the replacement scenario as well. So once we finally do get to the replacement scenario and permit that, they are going to have a diversion pipe, in during the construction phase. And so if they had to get to that last scenario, they would put it in place. The water would be diverted for the moment, and it would just stay in place until the replacement could be completed. We do have a plan we could show you for where the diversion pipe would be. It's a kind of a pre-glance at the existing or the permit plans that we're making. So we could show you where that would be. But basically, those are the three scenarios of work that might happen, that they really don't know what will happen until they get out there and open things up. And then the request would be, would some level of those scenarios be something that could be approved as an administrative approval? Is there a level of work that would require an amended order? And is there even a further level of work that would require a new order of conditions? And so those are kind of the two scenarios running that we were asking for some advice on. And as I mentioned, I don't know how much of an emergency or concern they feel that this is, where, could any of that work happen with the commitment to do an after the fact of whatever if it's the amended or the new order of conditions decision being made. So there's a lot of questions there. Just kind of curious if we could talk through them and see if there's any advice as to the best path to follow.
Yikes. Oh, gosh. Well, the good news is that you actually came in front of us. Sometimes when things are done that don't need our authorization, you don't hear about them too much. So that's the good news. The bad news is that personally I've had zero experience with anything close to this. So I'm going to defer. Colby, do you have any thoughts about this?
Yeah, I mean, my suggestion would be for the first two scenarios, I think you could be very comfortable with doing an administrative approval. If it gets to the third scenario there, Diana, that's a bit more I would suggest. And when you get to there, then perhaps you would look at submitting a new NOI or amending the NOI that you have currently.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Or
Yeah.
what do you think?
Yeah. And then I would just say, if the third scenario happened, it would probably happen right in the field when they realize that neither of the first two scenarios would work. So I guess it's almost as if the commission has to be okay with the fact that if that does happen, it would probably be done. And then that piece would have to be the after the fact if the other two were allowable under an administrative approval. Just because it could be like a scenario happening at the moment that would have to be rectified, kind of thing.
Diana, is that a concrete culvert that's under there right now?
I believe the head walls are concrete, but I know there's granite involved in the internal structure of like the slabs on top. I'm not sure about the walls, but I know this, the slabs covering the top of the culvert are granite slabs.
All right. And they just want to clear this, they don't want to repair it, or is the repair basically the last alternative?
The repair, I think that the repair is going to be the replacement. You know, I don't know how much more they can repair.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
A total replacement would be the repair.
Yeah.
Because me personally, I drive that road every day, and I have a concern because when you're going westbound on that road, your whole vehicle dips to the right when you go
Yes.
over. So I'm like, okay, public safety supersedes anything. I mean,
Yeah.
let's not try, little things. Let's just take care of the problem.
Yes, yes. And they definitely are working towards that. And, it is frustrating how slowly the whole process moves. And I think that they're frustrated too. As maintenance, they could do things for maintenance, but the full replacement just kind of requires a lot of additional analysis. And there's a lot of factors out there, being that there's overhead utility lines that need to shift for the proposed work, for the proposed replacement and the wider crossing. I believe there's some utility mains in the roadway, and that's actually one last thing to mention too in a minute. And to replace it, to make it wider, as wide as possible, to better the stream crossing and stream openness. They don't want to make it so wide that it becomes a bridge, because that's a whole other Mass DOT bureaucratic situation. But if they can keep it just under the width of what a bridge would be, which I believe they're going for like 9.5 feet, the problem is when we're like kind of dominoing into easements and right of way and takings to make the larger crossing work, and to do the scour protection needed, just beyond the roadway layout. And so anytime Mass DOT right of way gets involved, it becomes a much longer process. The coordination with utilities ends up taking a much longer time. So it does seem like a long time ago that we were in for the after the fact repairs, and we're still going through the process to get this replaced. And, even like with applications kind of like wrapping up this summer, it's still approvals and then finally a construction season. But I know that they would really like to have those approvals in place for the next construction season. And they're very worried about this. I think this culvert's on their mind as well. And I actually live in West Groton, so I pass it as well. And every time I see the cones and everything out there and feel the feel the dip in the road. Yeah, I definitely understand.
Yeah, because it's just my personal opinion, which doesn't really have a bearing on Mass DOT, but they should just, why kick the can down the road per se with these little things when we know it needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. They should work on that replacement instead of trying to kick the can down the road and hope it lasts another season like they do with everything else in this state.
So where do we go from here? Do you need
what do you need?
Approvals as Colby described, or do we vote? Do we need to vote on this?
Yes.
Okay.
I can decide which permit you want to go with. It was the administrative approval, amending the current policy. It's up there if you want to read through it. And I don't think you were thinking about a new NOI. Is that correct? Or were you?
We were hoping to avoid a new NOI, but I know that, as you mentioned, what you and DEP can accept, how much can impacts change and things like that. And the new diversion pipe, kind of in a slightly different location than the existing culvert, may push that a bit. But I know it is kind of a localized area. It's all the same situation. It's just trying to repair things until the replacement can happen. And so I think the worst case scenario would be having to file an order of conditions, just as the worst case scenario would be having to put the diversion pipe in to the embankment in a separate location.
It sounds like it needs just administrative approval for their go-to scenarios. And I understand the fact that there may need to be an after the fact if we get to that third scenario that we try and avoid because of the way that these things sometimes go. So I think that administrative approval will be good. I understand the after effect.
Can you make a motion?
I can try.
Yeah, go for it.
Could I quickly just add to from the engineers? I don't think that this is anything that affects necessarily the resources, but when they're in there, they talked about installing insertion valves for the existing water line so they can isolate the area. I'm not 100% sure what that means, if it's just kind of a plate or something within the body of the roadway and the culvert to kind of protect the water line. But that was another thing that they added to the description of the work. So I did just want to mention that.
Okay, thank you. So if we have a motion and seconded, then we can have the discussion.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I, Abigail Farley, make a motion for administrative approval on MassDOT District 3 Engineering and BSC Group actively working permit application to replace the deteriorating culvert under Route 19 near Edward Road.
Yeah, and I would add, just suggestion, add in, as an administrative approval for the first two scenarios that Diana explained, and beyond that, amended.
As described in the first two scenarios that Diana, what's
Walden.
the last name?
Walden.
Walden.
Just like Walden Pond.
Diana Walton described, and for after the fact.
And beyond that?
And beyond that.
Amended.
Amended rules.
Okay. I'll second it. Discussion?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I had to step out for a minute, so I missed the scenario, so we could just have like a real brief recap, so I know. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. So the best case scenario would be they are going to do excavation from the roadway surface down into the top of the culvert, remove the slabs, and hopefully remove any of the debris that's kind of causing some of this concern about the culvert flooding back flooding up into the upstream areas. That would be best case, and they could just place that slab back on and leave it as it is a little bit longer until we can do the full replacement and permit that. The second case scenario would be if they're feeling like the culvert, the structure of the culvert is maybe starting to fail at that point, they could try to install a 36-inch HDPE pipe through the length of the culvert to basically kind of stabilize that opening. They'd have a flared end at the inlet, and they would try to put some stone around the head wall and around the slope to kind of keep that stable. And then the third case scenario would be if they are working on that, the pipe cannot go through the culvert kind of to keep it stable, and they're feeling like the culvert is going to basically completely block the stream, like fall further and block the stream. We have a proposed location for when the replacement happens, where they would be basically installing the pipe through the embankment in a separate location where the flow would be diverted into that diversion pipe so it could continue flowing while they work on the replacement of the culvert. But what they would do is put that in now, and the stream would be rerouted into that culvert, that pipe, for the length of time from now until the final placement could happen.
I see. Thank you so much for doing the recap. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. Vote to accept the motion, roll call, starting with Sandra.
Colby, what was your input on that, the motion?
Yeah, I made a recommendation for
Okay.
the motion.
Okay, Sandra Lord, yes.
Brian Pinkerton, yes. Abigail Farley, yes.
Mike Pot said yes.
Thank you. I
Okay.
can certainly follow up with Colby and send kind of a different, additional description of those three scenarios and, the additional technical details that the engineers had provided to me too, just so you have it in writing and maybe we can get some answers too on timing, anything like that from DOT.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful to have a little narrative to it, so I appreciate that.
Yes, certainly can even turn it into a letter, an email, just to have kind of a record, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great night. All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Where are we?
3.2 standard operation procedural development for trail creation and maintenance on.
Okay. What do we need to do to
I
that one?
don't know, I got that, I'm getting exhausted.
Oh,
Can we, yeah,
I'm gonna fund this one.
well,
can
the
I
only,
just,
the only thing I noticed on it, I mean, it all looked good. The questions that I had, on the identified organizations are Townsend Conservation Commission, Townsend Trail Association, and then spaces for other ones. So we can add more if something comes along after the fact and just vote them on.
Yeah, I think it can be kind of fluid,
Yeah,
and maybe it should be fluid, so you can add or alter things as you go.
okay.
Yes.
And I don't know if people had a chance to read it, but the only thing, and this is just, maybe picky, is that,
Might have had, and I stole it pretty good, so I might have.
yeah. Okay,
What I
well, the
missed?
only thing is that technically Townsend, as I understand it, we don't have the 25 foot or the 35 foot, actually, this says 25 foot. We have a 35 foot vegetative buffer. We don't technically have the no disturb zone, I think. Is that true or not? I looked through our bylaws and it seems to be referred to as a vegetative buffer.
Okay.
And
is that something we can continue next time to investigate that?
do we need to vote on this or just?
I saw the,
Only if you wanna put it into action, right? Or,
Okay,
because I tell you, once you do approve something or decide that you like the set of plans, I'm gonna put it onto the website.
okay.
I remember seeing some questions as far as insurance or some different questions, legalities, and can you put that up there? It said there were some questions in the end of it, I think, about who the.
Here, I have it right here.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that. There were some questions on there about whether the town's insurance would cover the people working or something. Remember that part of it? There's a bunch of.
Yeah, you definitely wanna stay away from it, so mark it off, take crayon. Just nexus through it, so I can remove that.
Okay. Yeah, there was like, yeah, those were the question, thank you very much. Yeah, those were like, the question marks that I had, those other, what ifs and on there.
So what if you make those, minor changes and then next time we vote on it? And then you can post it. Okay.
And then, hold on.
Oh,
And the minor changes X's out the insurance stuff. Plus, we also add that we can take or remove in the future, modify.
okay,
We reserve the right to modify it.
okay.
Modify the trail operation, operating manual.
That way, as we move forward, new things arise, we can either take it away or add to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
okay, that's good.
Yeah, it's not meant to be binding.
Well, you know how anything goes, there's a standard and then there's certain issues that require special attention.
Yeah. All right, no, good. Very good.
Good thinking.
Board of Health wants to have a work session to talk about 61 Edward Road.
What's the deal with 61 Edwards Road?
Oh, the cleanup or
Yeah,
something?
so 61 Edward Road, there's a letter that they wrote to that the Board of Health wrote to the property owner. It's been ongoing for a few years. The owner has lots of debris outside of their house, and it does make its way into the waterway there.
Edwards Road.
So what they're looking for is someone from the Conservation Commission to talk to, or a full-on joint meeting. Carl and I suggested just, one person meet up with another Board of Health member and kind of try and come up with a plan. And then we can bring the information back to each board commission. Does that make sense?
And this would be a plan to how to get this person to clean it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very much.
okay. Anybody want to take on that?
I'm just trying to get a little better view of what we're talking about.
I don't know if I'm experienced enough yet.
Yeah.
And there is what, a waterway, a wetland next to them?
Right. Right upstream from the culvert that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that because it did say that the culvert was near Edward Road. So clearly there is a waterway right there.
Get the name of the brook.
Oh, yes.
You can see everything from the 119.
Yeah, well aware of that. Yeah, they have a number of items that they leave on the lower parcel of their property. And when the swamp rises, it consumes it all. So if they could just pick up their items, that would be nice.
Well, I guess that's the we need a strategy to get them to pick up their items.
Well, I mean, what's our standard ops to go there and say, hi, I'm from the Conservation Commission. Do you think you could pick up some of your items? So we don't have to.
In the past.
It's that ugly word that I don't like to hear about is comes enforcement issue. And it's a long slog out battle, which the previous conservation agents had been addressing. And so they have a history of documents being sent to the property owner, and then starting to find the property owner. They never, I'm not sure what the fallout was ultimately. If they did collect funds from them, I think they did finally do some sort of cleanup, which satisfied the commission at the time.
Yeah, they're so, I've seen it, and it's been quite expensive at some times, and then, of course, I wasn't part of the commission back then, but one day I just happened to look at like, oh, someone cleaned up. I've noticed it, well, the season where we don't have a lot of leaves on the trees, you can see right through. And there have been points where I'm like, oh my God, why doesn't someone just clean up their yard? And then all of a sudden, poof. And then this is the first I'm hearing of it being on this board, so.
Well, you seem to have the intimate knowledge of this, and you're very observant. So,
I try to be on everything I do.
yeah, would you be willing to, what's her name at the Board of Health?
Carla?
Carla.
Yeah.
Talk to Carla about talking to someone on the Board of Health about it. Who?
Yeah, she's
Okay.
in charge of that,
Yeah.
I believe.
And if it comes to the point of like having to, if you're going to contact the property owner, his name's Mike, he's a really pleasant guy. He's got some, problems, so. Yeah.
We all have problems. We're here to work, help each other through it, so.
Yeah.
Did I hear at one of our previous meetings that like a while ago, the Boy Scout troop helped or something?
That's always Jim Devonian's suggestion.
Okay, I just remember that.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's.
We don't need to be rattlesnakes. We just,
Yeah.
I don't know, just something I heard thrown out there, so
Yeah.
I didn't know.
sometimes people are going through some things that we just don't know about. And that's how you
Exactly.
kind of have to approach everybody.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay, all right,
Is that
so you'd
it?
be willing to talk to?
Yeah,
Carla?
I'll talk to Carla.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you.
oh, no, we got one. Uh-oh.
Oh, I thought your hand was up.
No.
Okay. 4.3, Mass Department of Environmental Protection, is proposing to amend the wetlands protection regulations at 310 CMR 10-.00 and the 401 water quality certification regulations at 314 CMR 9.00.
Is that it? I can send out the link if you want to make, I think I'm taking recommendations for, is that what they're doing?
Doesn't say, just proposed to amend.
Oh, the MACC, I think, sent an email out talking about that, and I didn't have a chance to open
No,
it.
I'll just forward that email. So,
Okay. Okay. I guess we're down to Sue Lizio's letter. We're gonna read that into the,
Record.
into the record.
All right, so hello, I've gone back and forth about whether to write and send this. Recent events have convinced me that I should, not because I want to add an opinion to any debate, but because I'm worried about something much bigger than any one issue in town. As someone who has served our town in different capacities over the years, I know that public service isn't always easy. There will always be disagreements. That's part of the job. That's part of democracy. But I also know that every generation depends on the next one being willing to step forward at some point. Many who have served our town for years are ready, some long overdue, to pass the torch. We aren't looking to walk away from our community, but we are hoping to pass the torch. What worries many of us is that there don't seem to be enough people willing to take it. My hope is that regardless of where we each stand on the issues currently facing our town, we can all take a minute to think about something much bigger. We all say we want more people to volunteer, serve on committees, and run for office. Yet I can't help but wonder what message we're sending to those very people and to the next generation of civic leaders that we will someday be asked to guide our town. Have we stopped to think about the example we're setting? Every lawsuit, every public dispute, every personal attack, every unnecessary conflict, and every action that pulls us farther apart has a cost. Some of those costs show up in dollars, others don't. They show up in lost trust, increased division, people feeling pressured to take sides, volunteer burnout, and in good people quietly deciding, no thanks, I don't want to be part of that. Our town depends on residents who are willing to step forward and serve. They shouldn't have to wonder whether serving their community means spending their time helping solve problems or becoming caught in conflict. With another important local election coming up, we need thoughtful, capable people to consider putting their names forward, not to mention the long list of committees needing volunteers and elected boards without full membership. If the environment surrounding our town government causes people to decide it simply isn't worth it, then don't all of us lose? This isn't about asking anyone to give up their beliefs or legal right. It isn't about taking sides. It's about remembering that every action has consequences beyond the issue of the day. The behaviors we exhibit and the decisions we make today will influence whether others will be willing to serve tomorrow. If this concerns you too, I hope that you'll respectfully make your thoughts known. Let those who represent us know that you value civility, cooperation, and responsible stewardship of our town's time and resources. Send them a letter or an email to remind them that they were elected to serve all the residents of town, and that preserving public confidence is part of that responsibility. And while we're at it, maybe there are a few new faces you can encourage to get involved. None of us have to agree on every issue. That's not how democracy works. And it's certainly not how town meetings work. But I hope we can all agree on this. The community is stronger with disagreements and handled with respect. When public service remains something that people are proud to do, and when we never lose sight of the fact that we all want what's best for our town as a whole. And if it moves you to do so, feel free to copy and paste to share these thoughts with your friends. Regards, Sue Lassell.
Okay. I think it's good words. And we need to respect each other and how not only towns get divisive, but countries do, the world does. So we all need to work on that. Thank you, Abigail, for reading that. Okay, I think we have done it. Items to discuss next meeting.
Yeah, Bayberry Hill has an NOI that just got submitted. And that NOI may have to be pushed from the 12th to the next meeting. As I got a brief message saying that they may not be, but potentially it could be on the next.
Okay.
And for 0.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Next meeting, 8/12/2026. A motion to adjourn.
Abigail Farley motion to adjourn meeting at 9:45.
I second it.
Roll call.
Sandra Lord, yes.
Brian Pickton, yes. Abigail Farley, yes.
Mike Clark said yes. Okay, thank you very much. Is everybody happy?